Welcome to the Drawing Solo podcast. My name is Mason McKinney, and I'm with.
Brandon, better known as I'm Lord Beezus over the internet.
Nice. And if you want to find out how to get inspiration from anywhere, make sure you sign up to my newsletter to get a free ebook. They'll show you how to do so. My gift to you. So, Brandon, where are you from?
I'm from Baltimore, Maryland.
How do you like that? How do you like it there?
Well, it's my hometown. I love it here.
Yeah, I
Been
feel
here
that.
most of my life.
I feel that. I feel that.
A lot
So
of culture here.
nice. So speaking of culture, there's a lot of thing. What do you create?
I created a webtoon called Blackuu on
Hmm.
webtoons.com.
Nice.
It's an action-packed supernatural comic book. It's based on post Rapture, and it follows the story of a soul warrior named Blackuu as he battles the forces of evil for the greater good of mankind.
Blackuu. So,
Yeah.
what inspired that? What inspired the series?
Mm, Well, I always wanted to make a series that was just as chaotic as it could possibly be. And Blackuu, the whole purpose of that story is to be as action packed from the beginning to end. And I'm inspired by stories like Death Note, Inuyasha, Yu Yu Hakusho, DBZ, Bleach, and Star Wars.
One of those things don't sound like the other. The Star Wars stuck out for me within a sea of anime, manga inspirations. What about Star Wars draws you to make a series that's reminiscent of that?
Well, the idea of Jedi and Sith always been interesting to me. Like I always like that the contrast between their powers. Like one uses like anger and one uses like acceptance within itself. It always been like cool to see like the dynamics and also the way that the lightsabers are on Star Wars. I took inspiration of that on Blackuu. In Blackuu, there's a race called astronauts, and they're basically they get their powers from the dream world, from the astral planes. And each astronaut will have a different form of weapon called an astral key, and it takes a lot of inspiration from lightsaber. If you see like the way I do the art in the story, it's like a lot of neon flashy colors. I do a lot of lighting, a lot of color clashing, just to like get a feel of like their weapons are very vibrant and light up the world.
Why do you choose action as the so-called genre of the story that you want to tell?
Well, as a kid, the first time I seen like an anime, I always just wanted to make one. Like it really started with Gundam. Like I seen everything else, but when I seen Gundam, I just was like, how can someone even think of making a story like this? So like most of my life, I always was just like so addicted to drawing manga, so addicted to the stories, so addicted to the action of DBZ that it just never like got away from me like most of my life. So like one day I just thought of an idea of a character. I didn't know what his name was going to be. It took a very long time, but I always had these few sketches that I always had. And then one day I just finally just decided to just commit to it. So here I am now.
Nice. Okay. So why do you create?
I don't know. It's just fun for me, man. I just really just want to make a story that people enjoy.
I
That's
feel
why
that.
I do it.
I
It's just
feel
a
that.
passion.
So, what do you want the audience to take away from the stories that you tell?
I want them to not take it too seriously because the things in the story, they it could be more than there's. Let me word it again. I want them to really take their time and marinate the story, you know, because I'm throwing a lot of action at y'all, but just really marinate the actual story when I start unveiling it. That's what I want the audience to know.
Yeah, like what kind of comes to my mind is a Evangelion. Are you familiar with that series? You talked a lot about Gundams and Evangelion.
Aeon Galion.
Yeah, Neon Justice
That's the old
Evangelion.
school. That's the
Yeah.
old school cartoon from like the 80s, I think, right?
Uh,
The like spies, if I remember. I seen it before. It has like a distinct art style to it.
yeah, with the like getting the robot Shinji, you know,
Yeah, it got a remake. It had a live
several
action too,
remakes.
right?
Yeah,
Didn't it have a lot?
I don't know if there was a live action, but there were several remakes. But I digress. The thing that kind of the reason I want to talk about Evangelion is that it reminds me of the first thing. Well, every show does this, but the one thing that Evangelion does is it has the fights are more of a thing just eye candy, and people
Hmm.
and they put that in between a lot of characters socializing a lot of character drama, and there are
Yeah.
other stories where the characters who are fighting, it is a physical manifestation of two philosophies clashing heads.
Hmm.
How are you taking action to account to tell your story?
Well, in the story, there's gonna be two forces that are like fighting each other. There's gonna be the king of Blacku's race and Satan himself. The king, he's more of a dictator, as you can say. He pretty much will outlaw type of any type of forces that are evil inside of his territory. It's like automatically you're executed type of thing. And Satan, he just wants to combine everyone for his grand scheme.
Yeah,
So it's a lot of like play on like I could say dictatorship, you know, but
right,
I
right.
can't give too much because I'm still in like the beginning of the story. But very soon the audience will be able to, you know, see for themselves what I have in store.
Okay, okay, absolutely, absolutely. What do you want to see more in your field of creativity?
What do I want to see more? Hmm. I want to see more anime style American like writers have like more anime style cartoons out on Netflix and TV. Like I only seen like a couple of things that's like anime style. Like I guess you could count the Avatar. I guess you could count Boondocks, Ruby. But I just want to see more like Americans that have anime style get more representation. You know.
What is it about the anime style that appeals to you over like a
Well,
Western sensibility or Western, not sensibility, but a Western style?
I just love the fact that like Americans are just so in love with that style. Like all my life, it always been like not cool to like anime or manga, but
Hmm.
like the peak is getting there. I feel it. Like peak for the popularity is getting there. So it always just appealed to me, and it's just cool. Like characters, like they really became a lot of inspiration to a lot of people like in America. So
Yeah, I remember there was a video that I once saw, and it made a joke about when you're growing up, uh, like early 2000s, I guess. It was you would get made fun of just liking a single anime, but now that the times change in the 2020s, you get bullied for just liking one anime, and that's just it's
mm,
I think it's a very specific point in time how anime just gotten so popular, or just anime and manga gotten so popular in America and just the West in general. And I think, me personally, I think it's because it was just a perfect storm of like anime and manga just being consistently diverse in the topics that they want to talk about. The how well they want to keep how well good stories are basically the cream of the crop. You only see like the best of the best of like what they have to give when it comes to here over the West. Now it's just if you have a Crunchyroll subscriptions, you can see the garbage as well. But
Yeah.
at the during the time, like we would only see, I guess we would only see like the most popular stuff that did really well in Japan, and like the one thing that I've learned from marketing is if something works well, just by itself, like organically, that's the thing that you would want to boost and show more people, put more money behind it, so it will reach a broader audience. And that's just good. I feel like that's just good business. And the other thing that made manga and anime so big around here is that a lot of big name Western producers, in terms of comics and movies, they've just been very lackluster. They've just been making things. They've been trying to push a comics and movies to an audience that aren't interested in comics and movies. They're trying
I'm
to
so
yeah.
I'm
You
so glad you
What are
said
your
that.
thoughts? What are
I'm
your
so
thoughts on
glad you
that?
said that. That's exactly how I feel. They're trying to appeal to an audience that don't give a crap about comic books, man. Like I don't know what this is specifically Marvel. I don't know what the hell they're doing, but come on, man.
I feel like on a business sense, it kind of makes sense. And if you look at it
Yeah.
through the lens of there's a untapped market, we have like a demographic of people who would typically like our stuff. But if we tap
Hmm.
into a different market, then we can expand our common denominator and make more money as a result.
So so you're saying like the way they're doing it, they're purposely making these movies just to draw more different audience in for people that haven't been interested in comics.
Yeah, it's. I feel like it's a plan to get more people who haven't been interested in comics and movie. Well, the movies don't. The thing about Marvel is that the movies they don't promote the comics at all, because I
Hmm.
remember I was like talking to a fan of Marvel. He was telling me about all the movies and then about all the movies and all the other things that he's been interested in, and he's also reads the comics. And I asked him how close are the movies to the comics, and he said not at all. It's two completely different things. Like it's
Hmm.
so like hair thin to the point. Well, it's I mean it's not hair thin, but it's like it's so broad that the only thing that's like connected or like a general plot line, the characters, and that's just about it. Other than that, it's just the comics and the movies are completely different, or are just completely different beasts. So I think that's what the end goal of what the movies are, and the problem with that is it's difficult to reel in an audience that hasn't shown an interest in superheroes or comics in a while, or just at all. So that's that, and like everybody thinks it's like a malicious agenda, and probably not. I just think it's they're trying to expand the audience, and I don't think
Honestly,
it's.
I just wanna see like superheroes blow shit up. Like my biggest thing, like the biggest sin for me that they did in these movies so far, why didn't they let Hulk get his ones with Thanos? Like that was just the biggest violation. And why wasn't Nebula the one to stop Thanos? Like that would have been cool. Like things like that. Like I, I don't know. It's just maybe they just don't want to do the movies exactly like the comics. They just want to make like the movies their own like entity.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? But
Why do you think
for the
they want?
old school fans,
Yeah, why do you think
they
they
should
wanted?
keep closer to the books.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I want to ask, why do you think they want to like change it? They always change the movies.
Hmm. It could be it could be a decision just because of the time that they have. Because
Mhm.
it's a movie, so they have a shorter amount of time to actually tell the story. So it could be a decision like a director decision because you can't show it when it comes to movie when it's like an adaptation. Usually you can't really show every little thing in the story, so you really have to pick and choose your battles. But
I
as
think
long as the characters like are accurate, I don't think like the audience would have a problem. So when you start changing the actual characters and making them their own your own thing, your own spin, and you do a horrible job, that really like messes up a
yeah.
lot of things.
What you when you touch on adaptations, that that brings me to a video that I always say that I think that's like a bingo board to like people who's
Hmm.
watching this because like he always brings up like things that I saw on YouTube because I'm on YouTube a lot, and one thing that I noticed was movie adaptations of different properties. Like the I guess the
Hmm.
first thing that comes to mind was like the Harry Potter movies because a book can be as long as it wants to be, right? But a movie,
Yeah.
you're set at a two and a half, like 1 90 minute, or unless you're the Dark Knight, 3 hours of runtime. And golly, I don't think anybody's gonna. You'd be hard pressed for to find people who's willing to find like to sit like 3 hours
you,
for a movie. I don't think I would.
you you really gotta they really have to choose their battles because they had to do the introduction, they had to do the climax, they had to do the rising action, they had to do the climax, then they have to
Exactly.
resolve. They really have to pick their battles.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the one thing that I noticed, I remember from the video, is that a lot of adaptations they love to do sequels because I think it started with Star Wars
Hmm.
when people realized there's profitability in sequelizing your movies because there's like every film, every release would just be an event for people to see the next thing. And before, I guess, like before Star Wars or before sequels were just a big thing, everybody, like cinemas, going to the cinema or going to like the movie theater, that was just a one time deal. You sit down, you watch a film for like a for 90 minutes, and then you go home and talk about it and say how great it was. But now that
Yeah.
everything's a sequelized, that then you would get a dedicated audience that would just come back like year after year. And it's so interesting how I guess I would say like streaming services like Netflix really dominated that space because before like Netflix became before like I guess Breaking Bad before Breaking Bad hit the scene, everybody just needed to go to the theaters. But now movies, I guess I wouldn't say I guess Walking Dead came before Breaking Bad, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Walking Dead's really good.
Yeah,
I love
Walking Dead
Walking Dead.
was I think Walking Dead was like the one that really kicked it off.
Hmm.
Really popularized it. Don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that.
I mean,
But
Blade,
what? Yeah.
Blade, the Blade movie.
Blade. Were there like Blade
They
sequels
made it
that?
really popular. Like they made comic movies really popular.
No, I was like mostly talking about like sequelizing
Yeah, Blade
releases.
has sequels.
Yeah. Did they have like yearly sequels? I'm
I
not.
was kind of young. I think they came out like every 2 3 years.
Yeah, I
But
like.
I think
Yeah.
Blade is one of the best like movie adaptation. They didn't change like the original Blade, not the new Blade, the old school Blade. Wesley Snipes.
What made
He
Blade stand out to you?
he just was cold, man. He just run in a room, start slicing vampires up. Oh, throw one over there, stab one right here, hit one with the laser beam gun. Like, come on, it's Blade. He walks in the nightclub and he kills vampires. Like, it was better than that.
Exactly.
Nothing. Like, literally nothing.
Absolutely.
Perfect
Absolutely.
character, perfect anti-hero because Blackuu an anti-hero. Blade is the perfect anti-hero for me. Then it's Deadpool, and it's Wolverine, Dante.
Deadpool.
I
Oh
love
man.
anti-heroes.
Yeah. What do you feel about video game movies? Oh no, no movie. Wait. Well, no, I got that mixed up. video games based off comics.
Well, sometimes they're really good. Like Spider-Man,
Hmm.
his games are usually really good.
Oh yes,
And
absolutely.
I remember the X-Men games growing up used to be okay.
Yeah.
I didn't play a lot of excuse me, the only adaptation video game I really played was the Spider-Man one, to be honest.
All right, then how about like any of the anime inspired video games?
Well, I'm a big fan of the Budokai games and the Ninja Storm games. I feel like I feel like the anime games do it a little bit better than the comic book games at like following the story. Because Dragon Ball been giving the same goddamn story for 20 years and they haven't really done it wrong for a very long time.
I would play a lot of the Naruto Ninja Storm games, and I really think ever since the Ninja Storm games have perfected the arena fighter, everybody
Hmm.
wanted to dip into the sauce that CyberConnect 2 has made with that series, and nobody could have really matched that. Not even with Jump Force. Who even remembers Jump Force nowadays? You remember that?
I do because my best friend keeps bringing it up every time I talk to him. He loves Jump Force.
No,
Shout
because
out to him.
no, it is the most. It is the saddest hand like I have ever seen a video game series. Because I know like the Jumpstar series started with a DS, and that was so hard. That was like
What's so what's so bad about it though? Like it has everybody's favorite like anime heroes. How did they go wrong? I never really played it, sadly.
wait, okay,
Like
so
how did they mess up?
the gameplay was essential. They didn't do anything wrong per se, but I feel like something went wrong. You know?
It's not like a it's not like a fighting game like the controls. Like it's like more on the Ninja Storm side.
Yeah, it's more. It's
Like,
essentially Ultimate Ninja Storm, but
so
like
is it like repetitive?
I think I feel like it was probably it was easy to spam. You know, like
Uh,
there was not a lot of like protection against that.
oh, they
But
didn't think the combat system fully out.
no, but it was still fun. It was still dumb fun. But I don't know what was going on. They dropped a couple DLC characters, and then they just dropped the whole game entirely. You can't buy it off the digital stores no more. It's like what do they call it? Uh Lost media now. Might as well be.
That's actually sad. I thought that game was gonna be a hit, but damn.
Everybody thought that game was going to be a hit. What do you think about hype in terms of anime and like anything in media in general? Like, does it help or does it hurt? Uh,
I feel like it helped it. I feel like it helped it because I'm the kind of person I was interested in shows fast. I'm gonna be honest. So
mhm.
like it helps. It helps to know like what's hot, like what anime is hot. Cause I hate having to watch anime on my own and like just to find out if it's good or not. So I love when the fans are like backing the show up. I love that shit. I love fan bases. They can be toxic, but I just love it. I wish I had my own fan base that was loyal like that. I'm all for the hype, honestly.
Mhm. I feel that, but I don't. For me personally, I don't get into a series until I have a good understanding of the fan base. I know that's kind of a bad thing to do, but when I look at people and I see like what are their main things of like why they are
That,
interested in a series, that is the first
that's
indication for me to like get in or out of a series.
That's fair because a lot of anime fans don't notice that a lot of animes are purposely like Saturday morning cartoon shows. So that's fair. That's fair right there.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think the anime that I was like wrong on, and I'm kind of glad that I was wrong, was JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Cause
Oh
like,
hell yeah.
yeah, cause like when I the first time I saw like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, it was like through the fan base, and everybody was saying it was the gayest thing ever, and I was like,
have you ever seen the 1990 version?
the 1990s version. Are you talking about the
Oh my
OVAs?
God, the first episode, they're dying to little water. They're dying to water, man. They're
Oh
dying to
yeah, you
water,
talk. Oh yeah, yeah,
literally.
yeah. You're talking about the OVA. I did not see that. I didn't see that. I just saw everybody just posting like the season. I mean, not season, but the part four designs and part four and onward designs, and saying, "Oh, look at these
Jo-
little twink boys," and saying,
hey,
"Oh, this, that, and the third." A lot of saucy stuff, and I was like, "What is this
Jo-
anime?" But
JoJo deserves the hype.
yeah, but
What it
like,
got me addicted to JoJo was when the first JoJo was beefing with Dio, and he kissed this girl in front of him. That was one of the funniest things I ever seen in anime. He just
I
standing there like, oh, "I stole your first kiss. I'm Dio." And I'm just like, "What is this show, bro?" And
yeah, and the way that
that just
he
got me hooked.
yeah, the way they kicked a dog too. That was the one you do. It's what you do, I guess. It's what you do when
Yeah,
you're at
JoJo
Victoria
Bizarre
area.
Adventure, A+ for building a villain. A+.
No, I remember the first time I watched JoJo, I was like, all right. I think I was looking for different ways to do fight sequences because the only thing that I was looking talking about my friend talking with my friend about like how what's a good anime to watch or get inspired by that has like
Mhm.
some of the most unorthodox fighting sequences. And my friend recommended JoJo, and at the time I was like, I'm not watching JoJo because everybody says it's gay. I don't want to waste my time with it. I just don't feel like watching it. And but he said, no, it's cool. Just watch it. It has like the stands. It has hormone, like Hamon or whatever how you pronounce it. And I was like, all right, sure. I'll sat down. I watched part one, and I was like, dang, these dudes are freaking rad. You got like I freaking loved everybody. Like I freaking loved all the
who's
parts.
who's your favorite? Who's your favorite JoJo?
I like part four, JoJo. That's my favorite JoJo.
That's
The
the
Prince
daughter.
one, the one that looks like Prince,
I know.
the one in Morio, Josuke.
Oh what? Oh what? Mine is the second one.
His second, what was that? Jonathan.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
He's like everyone for themselves. When something doesn't go wrong, he's just funny. He was the funniest one to me.
Yeah. Like, have you seen any of the like? Do you read any of the manga? Are you caught up with JoJo at all, or just like strictly anime?
Sadly for JoJo, I never really seen the manga. I only saw the anime.
Okay, so what animes are you watching right now?
I'm watching Vinland Saga and Hell Paradise
I've
right now.
been I've been on and off with Vinland. Well, I haven't even say. Well, I've been on and off with Hell's Paradise, but I've heard a lot of good things about Vinland Saga.
Oh yeah, they
what are your
did.
initial thoughts? Are you getting any inspiration from that for your series?
Yeah, I
Okay.
love the Viking idea that they're doing. I really
Mm.
like that idea, and I like the idea that the characters they have a lot of pride. I really like that idea, and I like that the writer was inspired by Vikings. This is really interesting world to show the audience
Mm.
because I
Yeah.
it's unique to me, and I love the way that they fight on there. It's realistic.
All right. Cool. Cool. Have you seen any of One Piece? Because that's like a I know Ichiro Oda. He was very inspired by Vikings and
I
pirates with that one.
I used to watch One Piece as a kid, and recently I restarted One Piece. So I'm somewhat with a One Piece fan, but I'm not diehard. I haven't seen every single episode. I seen the new gear release. That was very funny.
Gear
But I love
Five.
One Piece. I think he's the GOAT at world building. I want to be compared to him one day. Like I can see his vision. Like rewatching the show, it just I could just tell I relate with him. He just enjoys what he does. I want to be compared to him one day. So One Piece is just so cool, man. Like the fan base, like the people
Yeah.
that just watch all those episodes, they're really diehard. Like shout out to them.
How do you think he got to be that prolific in his field?
He has to be insane. I'm just gonna say it. He has to have that it factor. I heard that he sleeps 3 hours a day. Like I really look up to that mangaka, man.
I mean, yeah,
He,
I guess anybody
he's,
can sleep like
One
they
Piece
are.
is not even my favorite show, and even I can say he's the goat. He's just the goat. Like just the way he works, his work ethic, his brain, he's the goat, man.
Yeah, what
You
can we
can't even take that
learn?
away from him.
Yeah, what can we learn from Ichiro Oda in terms of like the goat status, or Akira Toriyama, or like yeah, what do you think we can learn from? Well, I guess
Remember,
we can go with like Akira Toriyama since like you said Dragon Ball was one of your biggest
I
inspirations. What do you think we can
love
learn from
Akira
him?
Toriyama. If I met him, I would cry. I think we can learn from them. Just don't take yourself too serious, man. You gotta remember you're making something that's entertaining people. So don't take yourself too serious, man. Don't take the characters too serious. Put a little bit of your personality in it. Put a little bit elbow grease in it. Like they got where they got for a reason. They hustled. So that's what I got from them. Whenever I see like like whenever I see them, that's what I think about. Like just don't take yourself too serious. As you can see in that show, they have a lot of humor in it.
Mm-hmm. I feel that. I
That's
feel that.
from that's from One Piece and Dragon Ball. They got a lot of humor. That's their
Yeah.
thing.
How can you do you have like a game plan set out of how to be like the best mangaka in the game?
And since manga got so like popular, it's just we just have to see who in a couple years who will emerge as like the newest GOAT. I feel like the next GOAT. I feel like their story will probably be revolutionized. I feel like it will be something that isn't like anything we ever seen before. That's just my prediction. Like a couple years ago, I predicted that shows that are like about demons are going to get popular, like so Demon Slayer and Jujutsu Kaisen popped up. So I feel like anime fans are going to get to the point where we're like, okay, we need something new. So we just have to see what happens. There's a lot of hardworking mangakas in the world, all over the world now, not just even in Japan. Like anybody can do this now.
I don't think we don't have to wait because I know there is like there's even an independent scene in like anime. There's even independent like you don't even have to like stay in like manga or anime when you want to see
Yeah,
something new. There's always like the lower the one I wouldn't say lower budget, but the ones that don't have as big of a marketing budget as all the other big stuff because there's something for everybody. And there's like the experimental stuff. There's the well, yeah, I guess there's more experimental stuff when you go like lower marketing budget, but there's
I feel like
always something out there.
you ever heard of Tower of God?
Yes, I have heard of Tower of God.
That's a good contender for the next goal.
Why would you
And
say
it's
that?
another. They already have a crazy fan base in the story. The way they did the story and piece it together was insane. And the actual character Wukong is a beast. And I feel like there's another webtoon that I read, Ordeal. If that one gets more popular, I feel like he could be the contender for a goat.
Okay, I
You
get
ever
that. I get
you
that. I
ever
get
seen
that.
Ordeal before? Have you ever read that before? I feel like
Ordeal.
the next goat may be a webtoonist. To be honest,
The next go.
to be honest.
I I think it's possible. It's possible for like the next
Hmm.
big artist to be like an independent one, but
Yep.
I think they would. I think a lot of things have to go right, and they would have to be like pushed by a bigger guy because the I think the biggest independent web comic thing that ever happened was probably I want to say Homestuck because that's the one first thing that comes to my mind.
I thought you were gonna say Soul Leveling.
I feel like so I'm not familiar with Soul Leveling. I hear about it sometimes, but what can you tell me about it? But I'm more speaking about like to the west. But what I know,
Oh,
like, so what leveling is a manhwa, I believe, right?
yeah. I don't know much about it either. I just seen that it has like a fan base behind it. I need to read it myself. But maybe that could be a GOAT contender too.
Maybe, maybe. Well, there's a lot of things happening out in the world. So, I remember earlier in the conversation, you said that within your story you had Satan being a dictator. How does that a play out? Like what are the things that you kind of want to say with using that as a driving point for your story?
Let me give you a couple seconds. I don't want to reveal too much about the story because it's just only in the beginning stages. But I can say Satan is a revolutionizer. That's what I can say. Like his whole purpose is to convince Blackуу's race, the astronauts, that listen, this is post purgatory. God left all of you on Earth. It's best that we just team up to take down God. So that's all I can say until I actually get to that point of the story, which will be soon. I am working on it, but
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that's what I can
I think I
say. And
accident. I think I accidentally muted myself when I asked the question, so background noise won't be picked up because I have a very
okay,
sensitive mic. But just for the people who's confused, for the audience listening, I asked
okay,
if there is a any kind of messaging that he wanted to say with Satan being a dictator. But moving on from that, I
mhm,
had a conversation about being an independent and talking about spoilers. I've noticed that most people you're trying to share the story to, they do not care about spoilers. In fact,
mhm,
I might say spoilers may be a good thing because everybody. I think spoiler. Okay, and to make my case with spoilers as an independent artist is that it gives people an idea that you know what you're doing. Like this story
mhm.
has like a purpose, and so when people read it, they know they want to see how do you get from point A to point B.
To point
So
B.
you won't have like a weird like Gintama like anime situation where there's a whole bunch of filler like no like while you're just trying to while you're meandering trying to figure out how to get from point A to point B. Just it helps
Yeah,
people think helps give the illusion that you're focused with the story.
for Blackpool, I'm trying to get a feel that this is a day in the life of Blackpool. Like that's the pace that I'm giving Blackpool. It's like a chaotic slow pace. Like boom, Blackpool's woke, but we're gonna be with him for the next 24 hours. That's literally how I write the story. So just give me a chance and just see what I come up with. I got a lot of good plans for the story. So hopefully I can control this thing because sometimes it can be hard to be an independent writer. You have to like really watch what you do and watch how you write it. Make sure you don't write too many potholes. But I think I do a good job so far at like introducing the audience into my brain, into how I think, and basically like preparing them for the story of Blackwood. Like the first few chapters, just it showed you the edginess and
Mm-hmm.
the morals of Blackpool. He isn't a very nice guy. Like the first chapter, he comes in, these people are just happy. They're living their life. They're worshiping their demonic entity, and he just comes in and just shits on her parade. And then at a certain point of the chapter, the satanic entity, she has a follower. The followers in Blackpool are called heathens, and he just steps up to Blackpool and he's like, no, you cannot hurt our God. And Blackwood just takes the guy and just tosses him. Like, I'm trying to get the readers familiarized that the world that Blackwood in is not like ours at all. That it is a cold, cold world.
I feel that. I really feel that. Where does the name Blackuu come from?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest. When I was younger, Blackuu was a name placement for a very long time. Even before like Black Goku was made, I was sweating when I seen Akira Toriyama make Black Goku. I was like, please don't name this dude Blackku. Please don't name this black dude Blackku. He didn't name him Blackku. I'm like, you know what? I'm keeping the name. You messed up Akira Toriyama. So Blackku is basically, since Akira Toriyama was always my favorite mangaka, Blackku is basically a play on Black Goku.
Mm-hmm.
But his name also means Black Moon.
Wait, is it like what language is that?
Hold on.
Is like ku just a
I don't
Japanese for moon?
I don't want to get this wrong because I have to research it again.
Okay, okay. It's
It's
interesting.
a Finnish word. It's a Finnish word for moon.
A Finnish word, so you're so it's a Japanese inspired character, but that has a Finnish name.
Yeah.
Well, okay, cool. That's cool.
Hey,
Yeah,
it's a
this
unique name. Might as
that's a
well keep it,
very
man.
it's a very that's a very unique name.
I do not
Well,
take myself too serious, man.
yeah,
I do not
okay,
take
yeah.
myself too
Like
serious.
Craig. Well, creativity can come from literally anywhere. You can run with that.
Of course.
Yeah,
Of
you can run with
course.
that. There can be like Finnish people in like your village in Konoha and like and a
Speaking of Konoha, who is your favorite ninja?
my favorite ninja Shikamaru.
Shikamaru,
Shikamaru hands down.
the shadow one? Mine's
Yeah,
my guy.
yeah, Shikamaru is my favorite because it's so funny because I hated him in the first Naruto, like the original, the first, well, before Shippuden, because I really hate characters who have a lot of potential and they just don't care about anything. They just piss their whole life away, you know?
I re- I relate with Shikamaru.
Yeah, but when
Excuse
he
me.
in Shippuden when he finally had to step up, he was really about that life. So I really enjoyed the whole arc of being a child prodigy to um having responsibility, being forced into having responsibility, and like he was with his Shikamaru arc when the what was his master's name? What was his teacher's name?
I really forgot. It began with an A. I'm not really good with names.
Ak-
Asura?
yeah,
Uh,
like that, something like that, and like the way how he died and how he took it, and just that entire
Well,
thing
like
is
a
like,
G.
yeah, he was like he really grew to be like the complete 180 of what he was in the original Naruto series, and that was one of the character arcs that stuck with me the most. I actually designed one of my characters off of Shikamaru.
He uses shadow powers.
No, he's just a kid that has a similar style hair. That anything at I just thought it was cool.
Naruto's the GOAT for powers, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, honestly. What's your favorite power in Naruto?
Hmm. I actually don't know. Let me think for 5 seconds. Who's my favorite power in Naruto? Probably Gari controlling sand or Eight Gates. Is either those two.
Mm-hmm.
Or Itachi's eye. The Jinjitsu.
Okay.
Genjutsu, however you say it.
The Genjutsu.
Those three.
Yeah. Like what about those powers that really stick with you?
Gara is the uniqueness in the defense capability. I would have never thought of a kid that uses sand and his mother ashes, I believe, and he used his body armor. Like, what the fuck is that? I
Hmm.
wouldn't want to fight that shit. You know, Eight Gates is just crazy. Like, it reminds me of Super Saiyan. And Mike Guy's my favorite ninja. And
Oh,
Itachi, his eye is just iconic. Like, once I saw Itachi, he just broke my mind. I'm like, this is one of the fucking coolest characters I ever seen in my life. He just comes in cold. He's like, you're too weak, little brother, and just makes that man have a nervous breakdown. And he's just hard to fight. Like, you look at his eyes and the fight's already over. Like, how do you even combat that if you don't know who he is?
hmm. I feel
Like,
that.
Itachi can really take down a lot of anime characters in different verses. It's not even fair.
It's not like I think what Itachi brings to the table is something that that like sticks with a lot of people I notice, including the Akatsuki. There's something about the Akatsuki that I see like a lot of people, especially like black people, can relate to. What do you think? What do you think of that?
I think it's the outfits, man. They cold. It's just the outfit. That's all it is.
Like how?
Like,
What makes the outfit so cold though? It's just a black
it's the
cloud.
unity. Like, it's cold. They got the black long jacket with the clouds on it, and then um the ninja bands in Naruto. That could really be a fashion statement if it was a nerdy. Like, I wish I could just. I used to wear that shit. I didn't give a fuck when I was younger. Like, when I was like younger, I used to wear Naruto band. I didn't give a fuck.
Did you used
Like,
to do the Naruto run when you were younger?
I didn't give a fuck. Hell yeah. Let someone say something about it. Fuck
Yeah.
you too.
Everybody did the Naruto run. That was just a thing too. Yo, yo,
I have no shame, man.
I remember the last
Be
time I
who
went
you want
to
to be in this world.
no, you know what? Something that made me feel real proud. I remember like the last time I went to the family reunion, I saw all of my cousins, all my young cousins. They were up in the living room and they were just watching Naruto, and I was like, yeah, like it
Nah,
never
man, you,
like
you
all
gotta
the
ruin anime for them. You gotta go tell them watch Elfen Live and see if they still like anime.
no like all man all it took for us was just to see Naruto and just see like all these like kids fighting, like all these child soldiers like kicking each other, punching and kicking each
I
other.
love, I love the I. It sounds so messed up. That I love the idea that they're like so young in Naruto and they're still fighting. Like, I love that idea.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I remember I saw like a one video that said Naruto didn't change the fate of the world because they still have like all these human trafficking going on. Still got child soldiers. Everybody still uses the Jinjuriki as as a metaphor for nuclear weapons. What are your thoughts on that?
Really, that's I didn't even know that. That was the metaphor.
Yeah, because like
That's new to me.
every village had had a child that was a Jinjuriki because that would like serve as a political tool to say, hey, if you're going to mess us up, if you're gonna mess us up with your Jinjuriki, we have our own nuclear bomb that we can send on you. So we'll all have weapons and we'll all be on equal ground. Because all the ninjas are like not cool with each other.
Yeah, they are. That's really fucked up, man. I never thought of that. I just thought that the Chikarichikis just needed like a host, but I was completely wrong.
Yeah, like yeah,
They're using them to hide them from destruction. Like, if they don't have a host, they're just gonna destroy it, right?
yeah,
Damn,
exactly,
that's actually
exactly.
really sad.
Well, it is. But at the well, one question for you: how can people support your goal
How can you support my goal?
into
Just
creating
spread the word, like
your manga? Yeah,
just spread the word about Blackuu. I have an Instagram where I try to upload on there a lot, give people updates. Just support me on Webtoon for now. Blackoo's home is gonna be on Webtoon for the next, I don't know, probably next year until I have a different plan. If everything doesn't work out, just send y'all love and support. I work really hard on my comics, so
exactly.
just support your boy.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, This has been Drawing Solo. My name is Mason McKinney, and I'm with.
I'm Lord Beezus.
Awesome, awesome. And if you want to find out how to get inspiration from anywhere, make sure you sign up to the newsletter and get a free ebook that'll show you how to do so. My gift to you. Signing out.